looking for.
I'd like to introduce Sally Terry. She is our special presenter today. I've learned a couple things about her. She's from the Midwest. She's a child of the corn, right? Yes. And you know what they say about Midwesterners. They are great workers, they're steady, they're organized. She didn't tell me that, but I know if she's a quilter, she is all those things. She started sewing when she was 3 years old. So we don't know how many years that is, but we're not going to ask her at this point. Were you a redhead then?
No,
Okay.
I was actually a blonde.
She was a blonde. Okay. Great. That's one of our choices, right? And she started to quilt 25 years ago. So Sally is world renowned. She has written 3 books. One of them, probably one of her best known one, is Hooked on Feathers. And Sally's already been here once before. You probably remember her because she was so entertaining. And that's why we invited you back, Sally, because we really enjoyed that time with you. So with that, I'm going to introduce Sally Terry.
My, what a colorful group. You all look so beautiful. You do, and thank you for reading the newsletter. You all gathered something of color for you, right? I'm looking at, I have a quilt over there that goes with your outfit. So what I thought we would do tonight is work with color. And all of us know what we like, but we don't know why we like it. Does that make sense? Yes. Am I right? So does anybody have a question? I don't know if did they submit questions before that? Okay. Is there anything that's just burning on your mind about color that you would like to know about tonight?
Is there a difference between using, what do you recommend? Using in painting, you don't use everything black. Is that the same thing quilting? You use gray instead of smoke?
Okay. Her question was, in painting, you're not supposed to use black. Black makes things muddy, it turns yellow to green, it does all kinds of things. Now, she's asking the same question for quilting. How many of you have ever put black in a quilt? So that's why I wore neutrals today. You see, it's black and white. So when we talk about color, I can stand next to it and you can say, well, do you want the background white or do you want the background black? So black will bring out a lot of color, but it has to have intensity. The color has to have intensity to go with black. And could I grab my water? And then, thank you. And then I'm just drawn to this right here. Because this is black underneath here. So, oh, would you mind standing up? This is divine. Have you all seen this? Okay, now just swirl around. See, and look at what color pants she has on. Aha! All right. So there's I don't know what I got to do there. That flourish, just set it off, didn't it? So, and I see a lot of black in backgrounds like that. Those are true colors, but those colors they have gray in them. You can see that. And you have black background. I recognize your face. Not your name, but your face. And I thought so. And she's got some really interesting colors in hers, and these aren't pure colors, which is very interesting to me. So it's subtle. Maybe the older we get, the more subtle we get. And then we come to Aurora. Now can I see the back of that? Because that is gorgeous. She never does anything easy. I told her that in the car today. charming, and she has some, what we call analogous colors. Her colors are right next to one another on the color wheel. Can you all hear me? I'm yelling through my hearing aids, all right? So that's wonderful. Now I'm just kind of, there's black with, is that black or navy? See? Okay, how many of you are blue-black colorblind? I cannot tell the difference between blue and navy sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, what you got on that? Is that navy?
No, it's black.
Black.
Like black and
I like blue from, okay, now, see?
no second, that's good.
Okay, now, this is another thing. It's the distance review of quilt, right? So the distance of a quilt, what is it? It's 5 feet, right? 10 feet, and 15 feet. That's about the average viewing distance of a quilt. Now, how many of you are guilty of this? How many of you walked in a quilt shop with a little swatch of paper that you lost like a week ago, and then you found it at the bottom of your purse? I know you did, because I've done it. And you hand it to me, and you say, match this. Come on, confess me. All right, so now, no, I'm good. You're good. Because I'm walking. Okay. But I'll be back when we do the, I have such assistance. This is wonderful. Okay, so now I want you to swear to me that I'm giving you some advice that might save your life, save your marriage, or whatever. But as long as it blends, it's okay. As long as it blends, it has to blend. And that's that 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet. Does that make sense? Okay, so now, I've been looking, oh, why don't you come stand with me? Okay, just right here. You're good. Okay, now, you come up too. Stand next to her, and can I borrow you? Okay. Now, squint. I want you to squint.
Yep.
Is there any color up here that might not just go with the other? Which one? The blue. Okay. Do you know why? These two on the end, they're pure color. The blue has white in it, and it is a tint. These have higher value and higher volume of color. So we have to replace you. And
I think you should replace that.
I'm trying to look here. Oh, of course. This is why I picked you out. Okay.
No, there you go.
Yes, stand further back.
Oh, yeah.
So now, these are pure colors. Now squint, does that blend?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So thank you very much. That. You all have a handout. And you're free to scribble on it. And whatever if you want to take notes, I know. We printed 50 and we have 53, right?
Who needs one?
Oh, here, Aurora, did you need one?
Yeah.
The thing about quilts and color is it's a simple percentage. 60, 30, 10. Okay? That, if you don't remember anything besides squinting and as long as it blends, the most important thing tonight is going to be 60, 30, 10. And most of this is proportionately balanced because it's 60, 30, 10. Can you see that? There's 60% of one and 30 of the other, and then there's that bright little spark of orange in there, which is, would you say that would be the 10? No. Or the, I can't see it. But you get the idea, right? 60, 30, 10. Okay, so now here's another one. This one's pretty obvious, isn't it? 60, green, 30, purple, 10, black. So show this to her, please. 60, 30, 10, and there's black in here. Just so she knows. Okay. So now, now we got to come up with a thread. What thread would you put with this? And I've been looking at the green twins back here. Would you go stand up there? Well, it's me.
You could use me as
I
put
can.
together.
I can because
Put me together. I got 4 different grades.
just you wait. Now, she's really, you gotta swim for her, because she's a little dusty. She's got some gray in there, okay? And I wore the black and white, so she would make a great thread, right? If she was just a little brighter, maybe, but if we used her for the thread, and you would see her in the black, wouldn't you? Yes. But where would you not see her? Green. It's so busy here. The entire job. Okay, good. Okay, so I actually put on this black and white thread, so I get to that on, so I can see it on all of it. So I would be happy to pass this quilt around if you can keep your pens away from it, because my publisher. Hey, yeah, go ahead and start passing. You can pass it. Just don't get, just take care, because they always complain when they photograph my quilts. They say, why are they so dirty? I pass them around. That has the Hooked on Feathers on it, and that's the book. And I have to sign that for her. And if, that off. And I don't know if you know the history of this book. I'll just do it briefly. I wrote this book. A friend of mine, we were talking about feathers. I was wobbly with I was look at that time. My shop was right across from the Quilt Museum. Probably been there. And I go to write another book, and they say, well, did you know last year your book was #1? And okay. They didn't even give me a gift certificate to something. And I looked at them, and I said, you mean I've been traveling, I did 15, 20 quilt shows a year, national shows. I actually judged Ann Arbor. So I said, that's a really good piece of advertising, if I wanted to sell something, but they didn't even tell me. So anyway, and it's out of print, so if you have one, you're lucky. But I did bring a DVD of how to do this. Now, it's on my long arm, but it does transfer to sit down. So this is as close as you can get to the book. But those of you that have it, I just want to say thank you, because I was so amazed. But that was really an honor.
What year did you publish that?
What year was it, Sally?
09.
Yeah, I bought it then.
I have it, I bought it.
You bought that book?
Bought it last time.
Okay, next. These are pure color. Okay. Yes, I did this in front of 250 women, okay? And I had these gals come up, and this gal had on a black jumpsuit, and then she had just a pinstripe of a bright green. And so we're standing, I didn't see it. We're standing there, and I said, now I need a green thread. She unzipped her top, and there was okay, now, this is the thread. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Now, this is this ribbon at Jacksonville, and the thing is, this is just really one piece of fabric. It's a Michael Miller. So I just picked out this one and that one. Those were the only two colors I added to it. And then that plum, don't you love that plum? That's Carol Briar Metallic Glacier Fields. But look at the intensity of the color. This is pure color. Look how you blend. You blend. Now. Unfortunately, see, these are pure colors. This is not. Now, if I took her shirt, her color, hang on. Are you getting this? Because you have to have intensity. So we add white to color, pure color. We would add gray to pure color, which means it's tone. And then we would add black. So it's white, a tint, gray, a tone, and black makes it a shade. You want me to repeat that again? It's on your handout. That's white makes it a tint, gray makes it a tone, and black makes it a shade. So it's her color. It doesn't go with this, does it? Because it's toned down, right? So have we added black or gray or white to her? Gray. Very good. So this goes into the vintage category. Yes, come on. You actually fit in there very well now. Okay, stand with her. Okay, and you two.
And I got 4 greens.
Yep, and she's got 4 greens. So her hands really work with that, don't they? They blend. They blend. But look, now you stand here with her. You two, you can all sit with here. Thank you. And more analogous. And I think, Aurora, we're going to try to hook that computer up. Yes. Okay, come on. Okay. Now, okay, now we can drop that. Is it working? Okay. Okay. All right, good. Okay, good. Okay, look at this. Because I was saying, you would make great thread. She would be, do you think she's good thread? Would she work with thread? Okay. And then, okay, now can you switch? Are you getting anything out of this? Now see how much better these 3 are. Her color was a little purer, right? A little truer value, where your colors are tints and shades. and they all blend. So Swiss, the three on the card, beautiful. You can make a quilt out of that. Oh, you're gonna remember this one, aren't you? All right. So now, so now I think. Oh, she's got it. Is it? It's good, girl. Just tap on that center with your finger and open that file, right? PDF file, right in the middle. Good work. While she's doing that, I brought some patterns. Now, this was my roommate in Las Vegas, Sheila Sinclair Snyder. This is, oh, good, you got it. I cannot stand this. Does this bother you at all? After what we've just been through? Okay, so now I'm giving these away. I've had these for years. I'm not going to give one to Aurora, not because it's just not her thing. But is there anybody that wants one? Oh, there you go. All right, and here, and pass one behind you. And then, I have more.
No, there's a lady in the front.
The lady at the front.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, now, what I want to do is collectively, we're going to redesign that, because when you get patterns, is this bad? Tell me. Is this bad or good?
No.
I don't care. No, it's just, and that has to do with warm colors and cool colors. Okay? We haven't gotten to that yet. Here's one. Now, I love Debbie Bowles. I just absolutely love her Maple Island quilts. I make a ton of them. Because that was that purple and black. That was a BQ. But when you look and pick a pattern, do you look at what's on there, the colors? Some of them. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. Just so now this one's okay, right? Who wants this one? I knew it was you. Okay. So this is scrappy, but as you look at it, these colors are mostly pure color, pure bright, bright, bright color. So then you have to work with the pure, bright colors. You like that? Okay, it's fun.
It's busy, it's crazy.
Now this is green and red, and we're going to go through the color wheel so you know. Do you all know how to read a color wheel? Yes. Yep. Oh, good. I brought some if you want some. So this one is just not. Anybody attracted to this one?
Can't see it.
We can't really see.
We can't see it.
We have to walk a little closer. We're about 30 feet away.
It's opposite of the color wheel. It's just, it looks like a lot of work. So, I don't have any takers. Isn't that interesting?
I'll take it.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Julie, I'll take dibs after you're done with it.
Yes, please share. Last one. Now, we're going to pass this one around, because you've got to look at this. Now, they've done two versions. They did a pure version with, like, the primary colors on the color wheel, and then in the background, they just went to warm, and they tinted everything, and it's just not. So pass this posh. Isn't that like an arrowhead pattern? Is that it? Close. Okay, so now with ESPN radio, if you can believe it. We would go to Vegas and do the sports book every Saturday morning. I sold trucks for Ford. I was a facilitator for Ford Motor Company, and I also was a fleet salesman for GM. Until I got into out of the man's world, into the woman's world, into quilting. And my grandma, I can't say this because it's politically incorrect. I used to say as soon as my grandma could put a needle in my hand, as soon as she taught me how to hold a needle, okay? So that little picture on the right, and I'm a little Dutch girl, that's why the tulips, but that was my studio in Paducah. And so now, studio, Sibby now, people I've given quilts to, groups that I've done. There's the Capitol. That's a Saturday morning on Beale Street in New Orleans. There's the quilt I passed around, and here's the other one that I brought that I want you to see. This is Daylily Fields by RJR. I covet this fabric. I may not kill for it. I have all 20 out of 21 colorways. I'm missing one. But this got second at Quilt Fest. But it's the turquoise that is so deep and beautiful in this. And so what I did, because I just cut some up one day, I did bring 2 sets of back borders from this collection that I can't give it away, sorry, but I can offer it to you. So, and I'm looking over here at your beautiful little jacket, so come join me.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, very
So it's the purples and the blues. So these are the colors that are next to one another on the color wheel. And there's intensity with it, light and medium and darks. It's, you know, it took me a month just to do one border. It was, but I got it done. There are 109 pieces in this block. I did it 4 blocks. And the pattern called for 9. I said, no way. But, so when you pull feature fabrics out, then the easiest way to work with them is going to be with the color wheel. And don't look at this if it's going to make you dizzy. Okay. Oh, I have to stop right here because this is Gee's Bend. And, oh, silly girl, come on. There you go. Gee's Bend, they were really the first women to do modern quilts. Are you all familiar with Gee's Bend? Yeah. That's, they're a treasure. So, okay, sorry. What about this one? What do you think? Why does it work? It doesn't. No. That is probably 60, 30, 10. 60, 30, 10, and that might be why it works. Plus, it's intense color. It's solid, pure color. Okay, this one. These are the first modern quilts, by the way. This is really interesting. The whole left side is cool, warm colors, right? The browns, the golds, and then in the middle, they're more cool. The blues, purples, and then over here we got the black and white and some red, which is a real traditional So they knew what they were totally doing, it was just all, you know, intuitive. Okay. Now that's harsh to me. Is that harsh to you?
Yeah.
What don't you like? And I hope you watched that, you can get it, the History Channel on them. It's a 2-hour presentation. So, it's, because you have the black and white, which are neutrals, and then you have that brilliant red, and these are all pure solid colors and value, and then you put in that light pink. It's almost like, you know, this poor old blue. It's a tint. Okay. Now this one, I really love this one. I think it's fabulous. And keep getting them bigger. And these, if you look at them, you see that it's still that 60-30-10. The cool, denser one is in the upper right with the iPhone. That's what that shape looks like. And then you've got, so it's really just 4 blocks, and you've got that peach in there, and then bottom left you have a violet, kind of the lavender. That's you. You're stand up, Lisa. See? Yeah, see, that's Lisa right there. I could go through and find everybody in that here.
Right, it's a mixture.
It is. It's a mixture, but each one is balanced and it's like a piece of its own. Now this is their interpretation of a flag, and I go crazy when I see this. I think it's brilliant. Now squint at it.
I see purple in orange.
Yeah, it's got a warm green, the warm red, the warm orange, the brick, because there's 2 warms to red. One is a brick, which is a cool red, and then the other one has like a purple base and it's warmer like to the magentas, okay, the cherry reds, the plums, but most of that is warm. And then they throw that brilliant blue in there that just, and what that does really, it just sets off all the warm colors. And it's the 10. It's the 10. Okay. Now this one, I dare you to tell me what that's made of. The fabric, what is that?
Denim.
Denim. Those are jeans.
Yes, everything goes with jeans.
And I'm not sure. Yeah. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, escape. Back. Okay, so now there's a gal that takes the wonderful East Bend quilts and she reinterprets them into modern. And then look how beautiful this is. And now that I can do this, because this is a new computer. Okay. All right. So, do you see that red? It's more of a brick, or it goes to a deeper burgundy, doesn't it? But it's not like it's pinkish red, except for that one little stripe on the right bottom. And so you've got black in there and white in there, and the gray kind of tones everything down. Do you see the blue in the bottom left? Cool.
Jeans that are doing that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just wondering, are there any purples that are ever warm, or blues
Yes.
that are ever warm?
Yes,
blues?
we'll pull some warm purple. That she's got cool purples on Mindy.
That's what confuses me, is when some of those.
But see, I saw purple in that.
You're blue color.
Something wrong with there's something wrong. I will pick out a warm blue and a cool blue so you can see the difference. because it does make a difference. So if you're gonna use warm colors, we want to stay to warm, like you were totally warm. This, that's kind of a warm green. Don't you think teal has,
Yeah.
teal's blue green, so yours, that's really pretty. Is that just a piece of fabric? It's gonna end up in a quilt or maybe in a car? Well, stand up a minute. Because look what you put with it. That's navy, am I right? Yeah. And then when you look at that, what pulls color out for you? What color? Just turn around. Blue and a little purple, that pulls that right out, doesn't it? So that could be sashing, some kind of a 10% accent. Thank you. Okay, so now, okay, we gotta go. Color wheel. So we've been talking about the cool colors, and we've been talking about the warm. And cool colors are gonna have a purple or blue base. Warm colors are gonna have a yellow or red base. That's the difference. Then you have primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. And modern quilts really deal with the primary and the secondary, and then what do we do, the temperature quilts?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we're doing? So hot to cool, and you can see that, you know, through the color wheel. So here are really what you're working with, and that one pattern that I held up that nobody really cared for. Where did that one go? It was the purple with the green. This here?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, can I just, you can have it back, but I just want to use it for. These are opposite of one another on the color wheel. Kind of that plummy purple and the green. Those are opposite. So I need an opposite. I don't have any just pure red. I wonder why nobody has on a pure red. Well, you do. Okay, come up here. All right. And then have to get the greenest green.
Well, that's your leprechaun over there.
You really do have. Can I interrupt your sewing? Okay. Perfect. Come on up. This is just love it. I'm proud of this. Yes, and yours. Okay. These are opposite one another. Oh, up the color wheel. And you would have to pick 60 of one, and then 30 of the other one, and I probably would pick something kind of that goes to the orange here that would blend with her and accent her. Do you see that? So you got to pull out something of the accent. Thank you, but it works, but you have to know how to make it work. Now, you would either use a full value, where my color wheels go? On the sale table.
On this table.
Okay. So, does anybody need a color wheel this evening? I brought some from the store. You want one?
I need one.
You need one? I don't want it, I just need it.
How far back does the first color wheel that was printed or sold go? Who discovered the color wheel?
Okay.
Pop quiz.
Pop quiz.
Who?
Isaac Newton.
I got it.
Oh, was it?
It was in my presentation that I did for everybody.
Okay.
I can't give them away, but you're willing to purchase, right? Then can I open it? Okay.
You should have asked her how much.
So, we have analogous. So, very good. We have analogous, and analogous is probably the most common of all the quotes that you're gonna do, and it will save you everything, like, she's analogous. She's right next to one another on the color wheel. You, Diana, you're analogous. Carla, you're opposite. You're actually a tertiary. We'll get to you. She's analogous. Mindy and Sandy is analogous. Oh, you're tertiary. You're analogous. You are. This is gorgeous.
So it's a mix.
Look at the color. She's
What am I?
well, you're either going to be triadic, which is, triad means
Three equidistant.
equidistant divisible by 3, because the color wheel can have 24 slots on it. I'm going to ask you about the history of the color wheel. And then it could have 12, or it could have 48. Has to be divisible by 3. So there's different color wheels with different numbers of colors. Now, when the settlers came over here and made their clothes, they made the colors, they had the base fabric, right, called gray goods for a reason. And then they had to put like seeds and bark and natural things, but they could not do green. Okay, how many of you have heard of poison green?
Yep.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah. Poison green is a real acid green, and it's a real dark green. But the reason it's called poison green is because the way they made it, they had to add arsenic. And there are tales of wallpaper in homes, and you've seen these abandoned homes with wallpaper in them. And that's because it made the people sick. And it did terminate a lot of people because they had it in their shirting and all of that. And so that's why they called it poison green. And there's a gal that I know that took a class from me like 20 years ago, and she has a whole exhibit on poison green. And she might even come, because I ran into her in Indiana, but she would, if you need somebody to come to a quilt show and be like a featured display, she might be really good. Okay, so we have triad. You basically are going to stick with analogous. And how many of you just go and buy a kit? Sometimes. Yeah. I mean, Missouri Star, wherever you get your kits. So, because we don't want to have to struggle and we don't want to make mistakes. After today, I think you're going to feel a little more comfortable, I'm hoping. So if you look on the screen, there are some websites that I put on your handout, and it's, can I show, it's right above the color wheel. On the back, there's a list of sites. And those sites, you can upload a picture, and then it will spit out the colors from the photo. You can, somebody uploaded their cat. Now look at that. That would be a beautiful quote. But it goes to orange. And not everybody is really happy with orange. But still, you could pull out, you could take kind of that one on the left and
The third one.
blend the others. Now, every year, have you ever heard of the Pantone Color of the Year?
Yes.
That was 2018, maybe the green. So Pantone, and I think that's on your sheet, every year picks the color of the year. Now, they have done that forever. Pantone matching system, every time anything is printed, it's printed in a PMS color. And they are picking this color a year ahead so that the drapery makers, the garment makers, the pillow makers, the sheet makers, the quilt makers get really popular and they'll go and buy something with that color. So do you all remember that ad? Do you remember the pink Ford truck when you were watching TV? You remember that pink Ford truck that said Ford under it? What? That was the year that they did the rose quartz and the blue Serenity, or Serenity Blue. And, oh no, did you hear that? No, what? I turned my phone off. I turned it off.
Bringing in right here. After I turned mine off.
I did, I turned my phone off.
But not your ear.
I just have to ignore this. Okay. No! Take my phone away.
It's
Okay.
a scam call.
That's it. Spam. Ah! Okay, so, sorry about this. I have to apologize.
She's busy.
Can you hand me my phone? That is the alarm to take my pills.
Take it off.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, so,
Take your bill.
that's the first year they put two colors on there, and that was the Serenity Blue. So now when you look at this, oh, come on, page down. No. I didn't put it in there. But that year, Tulip Pink had pink in all of her fabric. Do you remember the silk umbrellas?
Yeah.
That was the pink. That was called rose quartz. And so that, if you want to know what's going on, look up the Pantone Color of the Year. And some of it's purple, some of it's green. But, okay, so now we got to go back to this. And then, how much time? How much did you want?
Yeah.
How much? As much as you want. As much as I want. Aw. Okay. All right, so I'll just go through two more quotes. Are you getting tired?
No.
Okay. Just remember that when you're working with the color wheel, you start with the pure color, then you're going to go to the tint, then you're going to go to the shade, and then you're going to go, tone, and then to the shade. And if you start mixing, these don't even look good together, do they? So, right. So, and just one more thing. Do you want to pick somebody? Because I have two holiday, Easter kind of holiday, and these are hand curated back quarters in greens and yellows and orange.
Well, pick a number and Pat will take it off.
Oh, Pat, yeah. Pat, you pick the number.
No.
Number 40 and number 1.
Beverly Kiesel is number 40.
Oh. Oh. And these are your colors. lightest color, you can go farther on the color wheel than if you pick a medium color or a dark color. So if you know you want to work with a lot of color, I recommend you start with a lighter one and then add. Okay, so one more quilt, I think.
Did we see that?
Two more,
That one.
then I'm done. Okay, this one
Yeah, I want to see that.
is a cake. And this one is called Irma's Spin, because I did this during Hurricane Irma. But not everybody puts black or white with cake. So it pulls out the warm colors in it because I have a warm background, but this is almost like a medium light, a light medium or a dark light. It couldn't take anything less, do you think? So, and then the one last one is, and I brought a lot, I have quite a few of these with me. And this is the Perfect 10. So I brought this. This is just done in 3 sections. 1, 2, 3. Oh, well, this is So, I love the neutrals, and when you're working with this pattern, and I brought about 6 of them, I took them out of my Etsy store. So, the thing about this is you pick the lightest color first, and then you go darker, darker, darker. You go 1 through 10 in value, and you'll never have the same 2 colors next to one another in this. That is the secret. And you can do this 1,000 different ways. Well, I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have anything.
We've got a special gift for you though, Sally. And you have to open it up here, and there's a reason for that. So if you could come up here. And this just goes along with what Sally has been talking about. And why don't you open it up? Sure. This is a fidget color wheel.
It's just Chihuly. I'm looking at this.
It was from Chihuly's collection in Seattle,
I have
Washington.
been to the Chihuly Museum and the exhibits, and I've watched them. It's an amazing place when you're walking over the interstate, isn't it? I mean, I just keep going. I am honored. Thank you.
Notice the colors are in braille.
Yeah.
Color in
Sally, I don't know if Aurora or Annette shared with you that our challenge this year is the color wheel. Every year we have a challenge, and in November this year, they have to make a quilt that ties in with the color wheel and be able to explain if it's analogous or tertiary or so. This lecture, nobody has an excuse now. Why? Because you all told her you had a color wheel and you knew how to use it, and now you really know how to use it. So I expect at least 50 entries this year. Thank you.
And I wish you all that you all get a blue ribbon. It's all right.
Sally, time and maybe share with us just a couple minutes about our workshop tomorrow.
And I brought, let me get an example. I brought,
Oh, yeah?
usually we open at 9 and then.
Okay. In, out, and
So
this
you
box.
don't have to get up and
Okay.
go dot Dawn.
I'll be right back.
Are you good with coming in for the workshop at 9 and then we start at 9:30?
Yes.
Okay. Because otherwise you have to be here at 8:30, then you're in rush hour and I just think it'll be more tricky. Are you gonna be in rush hour at 9 like I am? 30 years.
This is rush hour. That's true. 95 though is.
All the bikers are gone, so you're okay, Sally.
So I brought this sample because we're going to do the hummingbird tomorrow. We're going to work with, and I brought thread and everything. But this is a ruler class. And so what we do is we work with cross hatching and pivoting and a little bit of outlining with rulers. And I bring all my rulers and then you would bring what you have. And we use a ruler foot. And so this is a class that you might be interested in. So I brought a sample. And it's very simple. We get a lot more involved with this one, but this is just the basics of learning how to hold a ruler, manipulate it, and then at the end, you can make it up as you go. So that's the basis of this one. So, and again, it's just so good to see all these faces. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sally.
And
Yeah,
if we're coming to the class, do we need to bring our own lunch?
yes.
Okay.
Great question. Madam Ex-President, right?
Yeah. And because I have a loud mouth, can I say one more